No, you're reading right. You're seeing right. Absolutely correct. This is the Nikon D3X in 2022. That's right. I bought one yesterday. Rock and roll. What's good, guys? This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Welcome. This is the Nikon D3X. I bought one yesterday for $500 US. It has 40,000 shots on it. It's rated for 300,000. This is a pro level, pro body camera. Introduced in 2008, I believe late 2008. So this makes this camera almost a 14-year-old beast. The launch of the D3 in 2007 was a revolutionary moment for Nikon. The D3X launched a year and a half later, late 2008. Now here's a fun fact for you guys. The D4, the D5, and the D6, this camera, the D3X, a 14-year-old beast, has more megapixels than all three of those cameras. The D6 has 20 megapixels, same with the D5, the D4, 16 megapixels. This camera has, you heard it, 24 megapixels. The body looks exactly the same as a D3. The only difference is the X right next to the D3. And in the back, as you see here, it has the D3X logo under the screen. I've always wanted this camera, guys. I've always wondered about this camera. Now, when this camera launched, it was very expensive. It was $8,000. When the D3 launched, it was $6,000. So $2,000 more for the D3X. Now, this camera was considered a studio camera. It's not as fast as a D3. It's not as fast as any of those D4, D5, D6. It does 5 frames per second, but it's kept very, very well. Now, remember again, guys, it's not going to be as fast as a D4 or a D3, but you're not buying this camera for speed. You're buying it for the 24 megapixels. Now, the native ISO is 100 to 1600. The body looks exactly the same as the D3. $8,000 back in 2008. Now, the shutter is rated to 300,000 clicks. You know what that means? They say that, but it lasts for a lot longer than that. I mean, I had my D4. Its cycle is what, 300 or 400,000 dollars, 300 or 400,000 clicks, and I have 600 or 700,000 clicks on the shutter. As far as the body condition goes, the previous owner, one owner camera, the previous owner kept it very, very clean. 24 megapixels. I shot a few shots yesterday and it really impressed me. I love the shutter noise on these cameras. I mean, wow, listen to that. Very, very nice. And if you're wondering what 5 frames per second sounds like on a D3X camera, I always wondered about this thing back in the day, and I wondered the quality of the files and what it looks like. Now I get to play with it in 2022. Now, I'm not sure how the sales went with this camera, given the price and, 24 megapixels. Yes, that's awesome. But the price was very high back in the day. So I'm assuming they did not sell that many copies, but I'm not too sure how many they made. Original battery right here. He also gave me 2 batteries. These batteries are the EL4A batteries. Now, if you're wondering if you can use this on a D4 or D5, D6, Z9, you cannot. Okay, this is you cannot use these batteries with those cameras. So luckily I have 2 right here, and the battery health is at about 3. After all these years of usage, still holds charge. Like I said, I took about 300 shots with it yesterday, and it's still holding charge very, very well. Now, this camera, when you set the time and day, it does not remember it. There's a clock indicator flashing on top of the display here, probably means that the internal battery has run out of juice. So that's not really a big deal to me. The LCD display is great, works great. The buttons feel fresh. And as you can see here, the book has been read many times over, as the previous owner told me. He had the book, he gave it to me. Hey, look, even a quick guide for the D3X. Well, the menus look great. You know, everything still works. Here's a menu system here. And check the firmware. It was up to date. I don't know how many firmware updates the D3X got over the years. I don't think too many, because when I check the firmware version on here now, it's at 1.01 and 1.02. And when I checked the website, it was the same. So when you take out the battery, there's a little sticker in the inside of this portion right here, which says Nikon USA. The sticker, it's like a hologram sticker they put on there. I think they stopped doing that with the newer cameras. Again, guys, I bought this for nostalgic purposes only. However, you can really do professional photo shoots with it now, even now in 2022. This thing holds up. It's rugged, pro body. Again, like I said, it's got, again, guys, it's fascinating that this has a higher megapixel count than a Nikon D6. Now, of course, it's not, it's not the best in low light. The colors, things have improved. The D6 is fast. It's accurate. The autofocus system, there's no comparison when you compare today's technology, for example, the Nikon D6 or D5 versus a D3X. And for those times, this was a game changer. Yeah, guys, so what can I say? I'm really excited to own this camera. Even though it's 14 years later, but hey, I'll give it a shot. I'll take some portraits with it. Maybe I'll do some comparisons with the Nikon Z9 doing portraits out and about. I still own some G glass. I did not sell all my G lenses. So I have the 105, I have the 58. I have several other G lenses. I have some vintage lenses. Super excited to try this out. Maybe with the 200 f2, we'll see how it goes. Hey, maybe some super telephoto lenses with this. Let's give it a shot. We'll have some fun, right, guys? This is what Vahagraphy is all about. We're having fun. Yeah, good condition. Everything works. When you slide this over to the left. Now, the D3 does not have illuminated buttons. They introduced that on the D4. However, it does light up the top LCD display and the little display here on the bottom. So one way you can tell this camera was babied is just the wear and tear factor. The rubber here is not worn out. You know, it's as if I entered a time capsule of some sorts. And this camera was kept very, very well. It has no major scratches or anything on it. And a lot of guys, they haven't heard of the D3X. Yeah, the D3S all over the place. But the D3X, what's that? I'll take it out and do some gigs with it. Now, if I were to do an old camera challenge in the future, this camera would probably be the camera I would take with me. And, you know, this probably could smoke a lot of modern cameras out today. You know, this thing was great. I'm telling you. Here, let me show you the resolution on this camera right on the display. So 6048 by 4032 in 2008. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. The Nikon D3X will be coming up in future videos. Can't wait to use it and see what this thing can actually do in modern times. This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. We'll see you on the next video. Rock and roll. Hey, what's good, photographers? Vahagan here from Vahagraphy. If you like videos like this, go ahead and click on those videos on the screen for more content.